if I can get this off. Sorry, I'm not Miller. People asked to see who was talking, so in order to do that, I needed to do a couple workarounds, which has not been super smooth.
Yeah, the found deck certainly looks favored post board. Just get to bring in a bunch more cheap removal. Get to take out the nonsense like Omen and Gift. Speak a low to the ground. Removal heavy deck. All Ilya really gets is like 4 protect and a few sabotage.
Yeah. Yes. No. Hello. Hello.
Which are quite good.
Test.
Don't get me wrong, but they're not as high impact as like Lightning Storm and Blackstar Harbinger cards.
Yeah, and we listened to Alunix, the renowned Found Control player, sort of running them through the stuff. So it helps to have a bunch of disparate deck experts, because you can have somebody.
And Angry Chicken's computer has completed its restart.
Uh-oh. All right.
Everybody should get a solid state.
Bitch.
Can we hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Discord does not like it when you're hopping between different channels across different instances of itself.
You can't cross the streams.
No. Okay, so Angry Chicken is back. I had some insightful things to say about sideboarding, but they should be ready to go back into game. So let's watch that instead. Sorry, I needed to do a couple of interesting workarounds in order to get the actual speaking images up on stream, because they don't show up properly when you were doing it a couple of different ways that I was doing. In any case, we watched Alunix running the show there, sort of making suggestions on how to sideboard, and between Alunix and Tabo, we've seen how it's really an advantage to have deck experts, so to speak, because you get to have someone who just knows the deck inside out and can make all sorts of the suggestions for the team to help guide them, even if they're not playing it themselves. So some advantages of the team format.
Yeah, and we all know that Alunix is a very good film player. He got second yesterday. Did I get it right this time?
Yes, against Kamato, who the Chalice player. So we've seen Felon and Chalice go back and forth a couple of different times, and yesterday they came out. It was Chalice that came out on top, but Alunix, sort of playing behind the scenes against Ilya K, who they've been trash talking back and forth on. So he's looking to win this match and bring him back.
Yeah, and Ilya has a fairly strong hand here, like Instigator, Bartholo, a rapid shot to punch through a Felon Bloodcaster, and then a Slay for the first big threat. But Chicken is also looking pretty good, assuming he can pick up a few power here. Like, Felon is a very power-hungry deck.
Yeah, he just needs another Shadow Sigil, and then he's got a couple Bloodcasters to throw at his opponents. Bloodcaster's very good at blocking the Instigator, but also the attack is very free, so the rapid shot's probably going to get value. But I think Chicken might have enough ground blockers that Ilya K is going to need to rely on Bard at least a little bit in order to punch damage through. Just looking at these openers.
Bard isn't going to be very reliable against Permafrost Lightning Storm.
Yes. Although Lightning Storm doesn't look like it's going to take out too many other things here. So something like a Finest Hour or something like that could cause some problems. Although I guess Finest Hour, I don't know. If you just have a naked Bard on board, how do you sequence that? Do you Permafrost it, or do you Lightning Storm it?
I guess you definitely storm it, because, or you definitely Permafrost to pop the Aegis and then storm it, right? Because Ilya doesn't have any way to bring things back from the void, but he does have Bulk Reinforcer to free a thing.
Silence it off, yeah. But then you're playing into Finest Hour, potentially.
True. But I would tend to doubt that Ilya still has Finest Hour. It's just very liable to get blown out by a 2-for-1. There's a lot of fast speed removal in the Felon deck.
Well, he doesn't have it in his list. Okay, good. Yes, you don't need to play
by Finest Hour I meant Rapid Shot, right? But
Rapid Shot does not save you from Lightning Storm all that often.
Oh yeah, yeah. Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking of GHP's list. Yeah, you are right on all accounts.
Not really. I was also speculating about Finest Hour when it was not, in fact, on board. Ooh, are we going to see... No. Unlucky draws the beetle on 2. We don't get to see the big beats uh, come down until a little bit later in the game. Interesting the
Yo,
chicken
that beetle did
goes...
over 30 damage last game. That beetle's gonna go home to like the beetle colony and just be a hero among all blood beetles.
You know, Blood Beetle's notorious for winning tournaments when you actually play it. It was in Dark Hands, Scion's League winning Bandit Queen list way back in the day, like over a year and a half ago now. So it's got a pretty storied history of showing up in some high-profile lists. Angry Chicken using that permafrost is in a bit of trouble here because, yeah, the first storm can clear out the Aegis, but then Bloodletter's going to make it a 5/5, and you're going to wish you had that permafrost back.
Ilya's just going right into it. This bloodletter, he smells blood in the water.
Well, Chicken did miss a power drop, drew something better than a power drop in this permafrost, and that's going to slow the game down a bit.
Yeah, even after getting infiltrate, this beetle does still die to lightning storm, so I don't think he's gonna be able to live up to the legend of last game's blood beetle.
You never know. A single draw, and I do think you just storm it here, though. Don't give your opponent any time to draw attachments. Like Rakano, just keeping the board clear is key.
Yes, and unlike Rakano, none of the Argentport attachments are Deep Forge plate, so these permafrost guys are relatively safe until a Valkyrie Enforcer gets found.
Which is still a problem. I mean, 5/5 Bard is certainly not dealt with if it gets silenced off, but you do have a bit of time. So I'm not sure that holding the Storm for more value is the right call when you're this far on the back foot. It's very dangerous into any of Ilya K's weapon top decks, especially since they push it out of Lightning Storm range, and then where are you?
Yeah, you also want to spend your next turn playing Wisdom of the Elders to try and find more power. So if you don't play Lightning Storm here, you're signing up for taking at least 4 more damage from this beetle.
Holding it for Witch is ambitious, to say the least.
Yeah, that's at least 4 turns off and likely more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking really hard though. I guess so. The thing that would be upside is if Ilya plays another Bart or a Tinker Overseer. But I think every other unit survives this storm.
Tinker Overseer? Oh, no. Okay, so Overseer is the flyer. There's too many Tinkers. I was thinking Tinker Apprentice, which is the 1/1 that buffs a guy. And
oh yes,
that is
all those cute little gnomes.
Yes, that is not a card that is actually played though. At least in this list.
Oh, and for good reason. That card's pretty bad.
Well, we've seen it before. And my caster's label is gone, as that is no longer working. Great.
Your caster's label is gone.
We're back. All right. They couldn't see who was talking. Discord is Discord's pretty finicky when you skip between instances of it. But we are back, and it doesn't really draw anything.
Chicken is still deciding on whether he wants to play the Storm. Just playing it super conservatively. Okay, so wants to clear out all of these units so that the Valkyrie Enforcer can't free up a 5/5 later in the game, like we were talking about earlier.
So we did say that holding Storm for Witch was ambitious, but it looks like it's working out here. He's just not exposing any of his units to removal, just getting all the draw in, and then once he can get a champion, you can probably ride that to victory. At least in theory. You imagine the Storm's going to come out here, though.
Yeah, well, the champion isn't going to ride to victory because that's going to get slain, but these Bloodcasters might. Like 4 Bloodcasters, that damage adds up.
Mm-hmm. There's the Oathkeeper.
If your coin stays good.
Just double Bloodcaster, I guess. I don't see a much better line here.
Yeah, I mean, even if both the Bloodcasters get killed, which you would kind of expect with your opponent at 5 cards in hand, that's still fine. Like, you take 2, but he's choosing to leave up a removal spell so he can blow out a rapid shot.
May just actually use the removal spell, just keep the units off the table. And there's a Valkyrie Enforcer, so probably a good thing that he got rid of those stunned units when he did.
Yeah, the patience ended up really paying off. Like, he took an extra 8 damage, but that 8 damage doesn't matter. Argenport has no reach, so if he can just keep the board clear, being at 10 or being at 19 is not much difference.
So patience paying off. And you have to imagine the Enforcer is going to come down, and now Chicken can annihilate that safely. I guess the other card that you really need to be concerned about post-board is Protect. Right? You need to play such that you don't get blown out by Protect. And that's where, you know, conservative lines are coming into play.
Yeah, we'll see if Chicken, yep, running the same play as last turn, playing around Rapid Shot by holding up the Lightning Strike.
Your coin stays good.
But again, getting hit by Slay and taking some chip damage. Although he could just Lightning Strike this now.
I think that will, I expect that will happen.
Yeah, 7 is getting kind of into the frightening range. All right, surely this turn he double Bloodcasters.
Can't hold up Death Strike.
I guess you can bluff more removal, but
No.
something's going to get eaten by a Rapid Shot anyways. And a double block plays around Rapid Shot. Like, the Quick Draw will kill one of the Bloodcasters, the second one will survive to finish off the Minotaur Oathkeeper.
That's why I thought it was interesting that he didn't just double Bloodcaster at the start. Because there are units that you can come out. And there's a Vera, so there's some top end still in the deck. We did hear Lunix saying that you do need something to do with all that power. But Angry Chicken doesn't have a ton of power right now.
Yeah, I think you can just run out the 5/5. Even if your opponent's hand is like 3 more Slays, like your champion dies, that just gives you a good target to bring back with Vara.
Yeah. The only consideration is if you really want to hold up Death Strike, and he does just choose that it's time to push in there. Especially because the second you hit your Shadow Source, you can start powering up your Bloodcasters and then push in for damage with them.
Yeah, and Chicken doesn't find either power, unfortunately for him, but the Death Strike, I think, should be enough to pretty much lock this game up.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit worried if you're Chicken about a possible Protect here, but UK does not have it. And Felon Banner's gonna close this one.
Yeah, that's both at once. Double activated champion.
So you play that, and then they go up to 9. You play the second champion, and then your opponent's immediately facing lethal. And with a Death Strike, you'll be able to push through. Because if they had a Protect, they would have played it long before this. So it's going to do it. And Flame and Feather will go to neck and neck. Or at least in this match, as Angry Chicken comes back with a win against Elite.
If you don't win your counter pick, you're in a pretty huge hole. But they managed to win it, so looks like that we've still got a match here.
Yes, if I can find the correct thing. So the Lightning Strikes showed themselves pretty well. Suffocates came in. Do you think Sabotage came in from the Felon Control deck? I imagine they did from the Argenport deck to pull out the removal, but do you think for the weapons and the removal actually out of Argenport, do you think Felon Control bought them in?
Looking at this specific list, it doesn't look like they really had space, but in general, I don't mind it just because it's a way to trade with a protection spell for 1 power. But there's so much cheap removal in this specific build of Felon Control that I doubt that they brought in Sabotage.
Okay, so enough speculation. The players have hopped back into game, and we are getting right back into it. And I've even got the right set score this time. Nice. Okay, so mulligans are off, and Chicken doesn't have anything in hand, but he also has 1 foil Death Strike and 1 non-foil Death Strike, which is criminal, honestly.
I mean, I do that, so I can't say anything.
I wouldn't have brought that up. Okay, so ELK starts off nice with a District Infantry, but Angry Chicken top decks, while not the perfect card for him to draw there, a good answer. And that's
I'm not sure what could have been better than that Vara's favor.
Well, he doesn't want additional power necessarily, So it's not the perfect card for sculpting out his hand, but it's very good there for defending himself. Do you run Wisdom or Bloodcaster here?
I think you Bloodcaster. You're gonna have to block at some point anyway, so you might as well fish out the possible combat trick at a point where it actually impedes your opponent's development to play that combat trick. So I would play Bloodcaster and block, even if it gets rapid shotted. I wouldn't be too upset.
I suspect that he will play Bloodcaster and not block.
And hold
And
up
then-
Death Strike next turn.
Yes. So a lot of the Felon play that we've seen has some of the hallmarks of a Lunex's Felon play. And if you watched him play yesterday, one thing that were kind of remarked upon was that he plays very conservatively.
Your coin stays good.
Although I guess it's not so hard to play conservatively when your opponent makes their attacker larger than your blocker.
Yeah, I like Death Striking right now so that you don't have to worry about Protect at all. And Chicken et al. Agree.
Yes. Uyuke, not the most exciting of draws. Can poke in here with an attack if he wants to. No, doesn't. Okay. That, I think, is a mistake. I think you should run the bluff, if nothing else, to make your opponent think twice.
Yeah, there's no downside to it. Your opponent has no power up. They're not going to attack you back if you exhaust an attacker.
Yeah, and your opponent might just skip some damage. See, they do it now, and it reads a little thinner because you didn't do it last turn.
Yeah, well, now even if you had it, you couldn't go for it into the face of a possible Lightning Strike or Death Strike.
Although I guess attacking last turn didn't really do anything in the face of specifically he had played the blood beetle before he would have gone to combat. Once you played the blood beetle,
well, you would attack before you played blood beetle, but
okay. So Vera's Favor is going to take that down, and
chooses to take down the premium one. Importantly,
well, these mismatched decks are. It only works if it's all premium, you know.
Do you not run mismatched decks? Do you just not run any premiums?
Not at all. No. Unless
I thought you crafted your set of premium harsh rules. And
that is the only exception, because harsh rules look fantastic while sitting uncastable in your hand as you're stuck on 4 power dying to Skycrag. But
I think you accurately summed up the latter experience.
But Angry Chicken now has a Vera that he could just play, honestly, if he wanted to, just as a blocker. I don't think he will. I think he'll hold up Death Strike, but Champion generally ends the game pretty quickly when your opponent's stuck on 2. When it's fully activated. Feels a little unfair. 8 power to 2.
Yeah, if Ilya had found a Justice Source, you could have protected to pop the Aegis and then played Bulk Reinforcer to silence the champ, but...
Well, he does have a little bit of time. It's not lethal next turn, so he can still go for the Protect line.
A little bit of time being the key, little being the key word here. He's got exactly 1 turn, right?
Ooh. If he draws power, he could go like Bloodletter, and then draw more power and go Protect plus Vulk Reinforcer if he's super aggressive. But I imagine
this gets him a flying blocker with the Beetle, actually.
Well, you know what else gets him a flying blocker? That Tinker Overseer he drew.
Oh yeah, so now instead of just being dead, he gets a double jump.
The problem is this does not win against removal. So he's still not in very good shape.
Oh yeah, he is almost certainly crushed here. Yeah, Chicken just ultimating and stealing a power from the top of Ilya's deck with this Bloodcaster.
Insult to injury.
It would have been better if it was a Justice Sigil, so that when Chicken plays it, Ilya knows that was his Diplo Seal, or his power. Because, does Angry Chicken play Diplo Seal?
I don't think you play Diplo Seal in most champion decks, but I'll check the list.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Angry Chicken should play the Diplo Seal just to tilt Ilya maximum out. Oh, and he does it. There we go. I can only imagine that he is mildly upset right now.
Mildly. Yes, these teams, of course, have a fierce rivalry. There are no Diplo Seals. There's the Protect and the Concession. So, stealing any hope of victory from the opponent. Just not enough power. Ilya stuck on 2. Wasn't able to mount an offense against Angry Chicken's 9 power. I think you can agree that the more powerful player won this match.
Yeah, although Ilya drew more power in game 2. Is that kind of did the old like flood into screw type thing? But that's what you get when you have a low to the ground aggro deck with no flood protection and no draw sculpting ability.
All right, I'm sure they'll handle it gracefully. So,
Right, so it's 1-1 now in the full match. With Burn Queen and Argentport aggro both eliminated, and Chicken on Felm is up to bat. Do you send Chalice or do you send aggro Cambre?
I think I speak for everybody here that I hope you send aggro Cambre. Because we've seen Feln versus Chalice before, and we've seen Elunix playing Feln versus Chalice before, and it takes a while, and it only sometimes wins. Both sides.
I think the matchup is also just better for aggro Cambre against Felm. There's like tons of Aegis stand together.
So as I do this on the fly. Fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to need Shed's view as well.
Yes, we are going to need to go to a short intermission while the players pick their teams. Or our next player. Unearthly's just typing now. All right. Shed is going Nexi. I don't know what Nexi means, but I know what Shed means. All right, so we'll set up for the next match, and we will be right there. Okay, we are back as expected and hoped. OND Flame has chosen to go with Shed on Aggro Combre as their next list. So let's take a look at the decks that we have here in front of us.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this aggro combo deck. I like this a lot. I'm a big fan of Copperhall Elite in these decks. Some people play like Xeon Obelisk plus Maris' Disciple instead. I think Elite is fantastic. It's super good against Stone Scar Burn if you can get out from under them. Stand Together is another card that's amazing if you're out under them. Another thing I like about this deck is it's just playing, let's see, 15, 27, 31 power and not messing around with Seek powers because it wants to curve out. It's a very well put together deck. I'm a huge fan.
So I can't promise that this is the case, but this looks more or less the same as the list that he ran last week to a 1-1 record. So, I mean, Shed's played it before. He's pretty comfortable with it. Do you think it's favored against Felm, though?
Yeah, if you get a good early draw and then get to sit on a Stand Together or Protect, it's just like very hard for them to come back because all of their removal that kills your like big Awakened Students and Reality Wardens and stuff costs 4. It's like if your 4-cost removal spell gets countered by a 1 or 3-cost removal spell with upside, it's just really hard for you to come back.
All right, so we will see how it goes. Players are going down into game, and Shed's off with a Tranquil Scholar, adding some much beloved aReNGee to an otherwise less involved matchup, and it hits Revenge. Of course it does.
That's one of the like few good hits off Tranquil Scholar. That's one card I don't like that much. Like Deadly, Revenge, Double Damage, Charge, I guess like the good ones to get. Unblockable maybe, but it's only like 1/3 of the skills that are good. Like if you get something like Overwhelm or Quick Draw, it's just like, well, that was useless.
Well, Overwhelm in this particular deck is a little bit a lot better. Like giving something like Reality Warden or Sandstorm Titan Overwhelm is a lot more valuable than in other potential lists. Elects to put the Revenge on the Awakened Student as we see it now coming into play. He does only have 2 power, so he's a little bit behind, and Angry Chicken is drawing what he needs. Do you think we see Vera's favor face Lightning Storm here and just clear out both?
Yeah, I definitely like the Lightning Storm before the Awakened Student can grow.
Yeah.
I mean, both of these guys go back in the deck, but by the time they come back, hopefully you've got a solid grasp on the game and the 2/2 bodies don't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shed just needs to find a power really badly here, though. He has a couple more 2-cost plays, but they're not enough pressure. He needs to put on pressure before he gets Acidel's gifted. Although Angry Chicken is also missing on power.
You're not usually too worried about getting gifted as an aggressive deck. You're usually more concerned with them stabilizing enough to cast it. So
yeah, but when you're power screwed, sometimes you get gifted and it's sad. But all right, Shed finds a power, so he gets to play some cards and gets to attack with Finest Hour back up here.
Mm-hmm. And no blocks, more conservative play like we've seen. So probably just like Bloodcaster plus Hold Up Annihilate, I guess.
Yeah, though Annihilate doesn't kill anything in Shed's deck except for Sandstorm Titan, I think. It kills the 2 Tranquil Scholars as well.
All right,
And then 2 Predatory Carnosaurs.
So Annihilate not at his best, and elects just to use the Permafrost now.
Yeah, and that Permafrost will likely get broken later on. And it's especially awkward on Awakened Student because the Awakened Student will still grow with its power while it's locked under the Permafrost. And then eventually, sometime further along, Shed will be able to silence it and suddenly have a big beater again.
Mm-hmm. Is there any world...
just more unannihilatable units.
Is there any world in which you play this champion?
So what punishes that? Vanquish? There are 4 Vanquishes.
Silence is a big punish, that's for sure.
Oh, Silence as well. But if you don't play the champion, you don't play anything. However, the board is fairly stable, so I don't think you have to play champion.
The problem with not playing champion is that you've got a 6, 7, 8 curve already in your hand. So it's going to be a long time before champion's turned on, because just the power that you need. Okay, so yeah, so he just uses it as a 5/5 here.
Yeah, 5/5 for 5 is not terrible. People play Amber Monument, unironically.
Amber Monument does have a few advantages of being a power some of the time, and has Overwhelm, so it's not total vanilla. and is usually played in decks with like Dawnwalker and things. So
Yeah, no argument. Air Monument is way better than vanilla 5/5, but saying it's not completely embarrassing.
but Champion, it has a thing, and when it gets going, it's a pretty good card. So the decision point now is Combra Healer versus Sandstorm Titan. And Combra Healer on Seraph's attack with Seraph.
Yeah, that means that your opponent have to triple block in order to kill it, but I don't think they're afraid to triple block.
I think you're fine with that. You end up trading Champion for 2 cards.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think if this is your plan, you want to like healer one more time before you do this. Because you're getting like 2.5 for 1 tier. Like the Seraph, the Finest Hour, and the Summon of the Combra Healer.
Yeah. Waiting may have been a better line, but also I think Shed kind of just wants to get that Champion off the table as well and get some pressure on. The problem is that with that Finest Hour gone, he doesn't really have any attacks anymore, as he still neglected or hasn't been able to find any power.
Yeah, I mean, here's another Finest Hour, so you could
Yeah.
trade a unit plus Finest Hour for a Felon Bloodcaster. Like, just not great.
I think you just have to bite the bullet and play the Titan here. You're not going to be able to wait until you can hold up Protect forever. If your opponent has Annihilate, they have Annihilate. Because you don't really get anything out of playing the Combra Healer.
Yeah, and the Protects aren't even main deck for Shed. Like, his Protection main deck is 3 stand-togethers.
So what are you
He's
going
a
to do?
long way from 7.
Wait till 7? Yeah. So I think you just make the Titan play. But no, holding it.
Listen.
All right, well, that does mean that this guy is going to... by this guy, I mean the Awakened student is going to survive a double block after Finest Hour.
Doesn't this just lose a unit of Angry Chicken's Choice? Like, this just trades Finest Hour for
For a 2/5?
yeah. For Steward specifically.
I think you kill the Bloodcaster, just so it can't ult.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, either way, you're getting like another 2 for 1. Although the 2/2 body isn't particularly relevant, so I would probably trade a 2/2 for 4 damage in that situation.
It's just I imagine Chicken is comfortable enough to slam Gift here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what really punishes that.
Some kind of like stand together play, I guess. I don't know. You
Well,
weren't killing
even
anything with Annihilate anyways. So
even a stand together, like your Black Sky Harbinger is able to block
pop
everything.
that, yeah. So yeah, just Gift, and now Shed is Shed really wants to draw power so he can play Reality Warden instead of Titan, because Titan just gets annihilated. But it's not looking good for Shed here, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it did come to pass that Gift was good against the aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Looks like Shed drew an Initiative Sands, so it's just Sandstorm Titan, I guess.
Although I think that the aggressive deck had its own problems being aggressive. They caused... Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
his draw is certainly not fantastic. He was kind of constrained on power the whole time.
So, next turn, if there was a power draw, would have been Vera for like Aegis Champion, and I think that would have closed it out.
Yeah, but I think that Harbinger or Annihilate Bloodcaster, either way, I think it's pretty closed out. I'm not sure what sequence of draws Shed could find to beat this Harbinger and Devara.
Okay, well. Maybe if Angry Chicken just never draws his 8th power, Shed can win the game.
And Shed finds his 8th power and starts activating Seraph?
Yes. Shed just rolls 4 sigils, and Angry Chicken draws 4 non-power cards that don't affect the board. That seems very likely.
Annihilates.
Yes. Well, he's already drawn 2, so... Do you just all
These
Bloodcast?
Harbingers can probably race Seraph at this point too, actually.
Do you ult or okay? So we're ulting.
Just looking for that 8th power. Oh, stole a Destiny Scholar.
What does it get? What does it get? I don't know what that is. It is giving charge. Do you wanna charge Black Sky Harbinger?
I mean, I'll take it.
Sorry, I'm just checking what unit he puts it on. What he really wanted to roll there was deadly, so that he could have a deadly Black Sky Harbinger.
The dream.
Okay,
Did
so
you play that Legend Crown deck?
he just has a
Time quickens.
he has a charge Harbinger.
Yeah, the Charbinger is pretty good here.
Is that better than just playing Vera for a Champion of Cunning though? Because it's probably
No,
not,
but it's more
sadly.
fun.
Done with you yet.
All right, so this one probably done. Probably done 5 turns ago when Gift landed, but oh no.
Okay, Carnosaur.
The problem is the Charge Harbinger just brings it back. So
Oh, yeah. Well, and Shed knows that Chicken has another unit in hand because that charge.
yeah.
So now the Charbinger brings back the champion. And...
Yeah. It's just bad news all around. All right. So we will hop out and into Flames comms as they see what they're going to do for match 2. If I can set that up. Yes. Okay.
I don't like Runehammer. I don't like Yoder's Cloak. Displacer?
Yeah. Well, let's see. What else are we getting rid of? We got rid. Did we get rid of slows?
Yeah. No, the slows are in. Sorry.
Okay. Combray healers.
Out.
Okay, so are you at 79 cards?
I'm at 78. I cut 1 protect because I don't like having the 6 easy
Two, so
effects
2
in this deck.
protect.
2 protect, and I could see going to 1.
I don't see why.
2 is fine. Like they're both
I
fine.
like 2. So all right. So
4
the Praxis
Vanquish, yes, no?
displacers, like I feel like they don't like. I don't think they do a lot in this matchup, so I'm fine with cutting them. Like for 4, we already have a lot of other good stuff,
Then
and that
we'll
puts us
have-
right at 75.
The problem is then we'll have 4 Vanquish in the deck, and the only thing they hit are Champs and Varas.
I mean, is the displacer worth it? So what? Like, true. So do we? How many do you want to play of Vanquish?
Are there no obelisks in the deck?
Because I didn't have room.
No.
Oh boy.
So how many? How many Vanquish? I feel like take out however many Vanquish you want, and then have the rest be the displacers. I don't know if the displacer is gonna be better than a protect though, but like you do
We
have a
could
lot of
tempo
units.
out. It's possible.
Okay, that's true.
All right,
So like
I'm
2 and
I'm
2.
still debating between 2 or 3 Vanquish though. Probably just 2. Yeah, 2 and 2 sounds good. Vanquish and displacers.
Mhm.
All right, I'm good with this.
Okay.
All right, so just let them know then.
Yep.
Okay, and we are back. Players are just getting ready to go into game 2 here. Do you think that Combray gets better post board? Or do you think that they
Well,
just had like an awkward draw?
I did think it gets better, but then listen to that sideboard. It sounds like they weren't bringing in all of their protects. That just seems criminal to me. There's no way protect is worse than displacer or vanquish.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're favoring here. Felon Control has typically been kind of a they've been positioning it as sort of high curve even against the aggressive matchup, so it's possible that they're looking to get some nice displacer action in on a 5-drop. But we'll have to see how it works out in game, as we are now down to the match. Opening hands, Chicken's got, well, I mean, that's pretty reasonable. He's got some removal and some card draw, and that's all you're really looking for. Zenith initiations are in for Shed.
Yeah, that's a
which
way
is-
better removal spell than Vanquish.
Yes.
I like Zenith Initiation, actually. Like, put that on a Copper Hall Elite, kill a Bloodcaster. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Are there... I didn't think so. Shed's not running like sideboard Dawnwalkers, right? Okay, no.
He doesn't have Dawnwalkers or Obelisks in his sideboard, which are like two typical sideboard plans.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's just protects and mostly like anti-aggro cards. Like it has like a bunch of Combray healers and Healer's Cloak.
So Shed did not play the Awakened Student on 2, wanting to play it on 3 in order to boost it up to be out of the Lightning Storm range, which ends up working out for him, as Angry Chicken did in fact have the Lightning Storm.
And I like playing the Monument as power. You have 2 Carnosaurs in your hand and you want to get to 6, so you want that Monument to be a power. It's good to not be greedy and just play it.
Yeah, agreed. He's going to get to slam Copper Hall Elite here. And then he doesn't draw power, it can get a little bit awkward. Do you just play Steward here?
Yeah, I think you play Steward, get it silenced, and then get it eaten by Xenon Initiation, most likely.
Well, still, that's okay.
But it still gains a lot of health. Like, gains you like 8 health.
It's not worst case scenario for you by any means. If Shed didn't draw a power, he can't actually do the Zenith Initiation. And this is just a block if you want to kind of situation.
Yeah, Shed really does want to find a couple power here.
Chicken's going to probably go another Island's Favor to get up to that activated champion. But, you know, Zenith Initiation's going to bring that down to earth if Carnosaur doesn't eat it. So it's looking very good for Shed here compared to game 1. He's looking a lot more live.
Yeah, just the Aegis on Copper Hall Elite is so tough for them to deal with if they don't have Deadly. And with all of the silences in the Combray aggro deck, the Deadly is not often going to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Tranquil Scholar here. You get to give another skill to this Copper Hall Elite. Imagine charge or double damage or something. All right, I'm coming around to Tranquil Scholar. It looks pretty good in this deck.
Well, it's a lot better here because it's so much harder to miss on this when you're putting it on these massive like Carnosaurs. Like 7/7 quick draw sounds like 6/6 quick draw killer sounds pretty good. You know, Overwhelm sounds pretty good. Flying dinosaurs, that sounds okay.
Flying dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And, you know, just hitting like something like Aegis or
Oh,
Revenge.
you got a Scholar pre-combat. What if it gets charged now? Okay, well, it gets quick draw.
And I hope you put that on Carnosaurs.
Yeah, quick draw killer means that even if Chicken gets a double activated Champion of Cunning, it's still
Right,
going to get
true.
eaten by this Carnosaur.
Yep. And he clicks on...
Looks like he's giving it to Copper Hall Elite.
Not as big of a fan of that. Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, so maybe he figures his guys are bigger anyways. But that champion's gonna grow, and you just used your Zenith Initiation, so no immediate way to remove that.
Although Shed's still winning this race, even if this champion is sticking around. Like, he gets to attack with this 5/5, puts Chicken down to 13.
Is there any world where you bluff attack here? And just say, you know, I'll sacrifice my 3/3 for the chance that he doesn't block, because, you know, Finest Hour is something that they need to play around. Right, you're playing a ton of those.
That's true. That also does play around sweepers, sort of. Like, if you are attacking and, like, getting your little guys eaten up, but pushing for some damage with them, that means that your opponent's sweepers are going to be less effective.
Because the mental attachment to Champion of Cunning is quite strong, as it is a very powerful card, and we've seen them not block in situations like that before. I imagine Double Storm will come out here just to clean up a bit.
I think
Um,
one storm to pop the Aegises and get rid of the 2/2 and save the other one in case you draw a witch. I don't know how you're winning this game if you don't draw a witch.
Okay.
Like, so if you double storm, you get to kill the Volk Reinforcer. But then what are you doing? Like trading your champion for their 5/5 and they still have a 4/4 against your nothing? I think he's just gonna only storm once. Like storm twice, attack, you just lose the race by a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this champion has to block the 5/5.
So we agree that Storm once is the line.
Yeah, I think that storming once is for sure the line. Gets those Aegises out of there, gets the little Trinquil Scholar doofus out of there so you won't take an extra 2 from an A space.
Man, I think Shed should have A-space last turn. But that's okay. He's got great attacks next turn.
Yeah, and he's not sad to draw power either. That just like puts him closer to these Carnosaurs.
I think power is probably his optimal draw, honestly. So how greedy do you need to be if Shed just A-spaces here? Do you need to block the 4/4?
I think you block the 4/4 if you A spaces. That even beats a Finest Hour nicely. Or not beats, but like trades with it well.
Not since that has quick draw.
Oh yeah, it's quick draw.
Yes, the old quick draw Copperhall elites.
Yeah, that's that wasn't in my mental shortcuts for blocking Copperhall Elite. The old quick draw.
So
I still think you have to do it. He didn't represent Finest Hour with the A space last turn, so there's no reason to believe that he has it now.
I think this attack is too conservative from Shed. Like,
Yeah,
not
certainly.
attacking last turn with a bluff, fine. But this turn, you've got enough attackers here that even, like, say he does block the 4/4 and you have nothing. You still did 8 damage, right? And then you play another follow-up and your opponent's at 5.
Yeah, then you just play like Seraph, and then you have lethal with like they block the 5/5 and take 3 from Seraph and Vulcan Forcer and die.
So this line is a little conservative for my liking. Although it could,
Yeah, this gives him an extra turn basically.
it could pay dividends if Angry Chicken feels priced into blocking here, but I don't think he does. So puts him to 8, and now you need to get a couple guys through.
Oh, I would have blocked 100% if I'm Chicken, because that gives me an extra turn. Now Chicken's dead no matter what. Well, no, because now I can just play a blocker and survive another turn, I guess.
Yes.
Right, he gets to block 2 things, takes 6 down to 2. Yeah, okay, so Chicken's still alive. I kind of liked blocking, though. Although this ended up working out, because now this Bloodcaster is big
Can
enough
trade
to
with
eat
the
Copperhall.
4/4. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be A space here, right?
I don't think attacking with just the 5/5. Basically,
If you A space, the 5/5 has to be traded with.
yes. So you put him to 2, and then you play 2 more units. I think you only lose the game to Witch either way, even if you only. But I feel
It's not even guaranteed you lose to Witch either.
I feel like you fall behind a lot if you just attack with the 5/5 and then it gets traded with. Then your opponent's still at a healthy 8. If they wipe your board, you're in some deep trouble. Whereas if they wipe your board and you're at 2, they're in better shape. Although it looks like Shed's going to take this one.
Yeah, there's nothing that Chicken could pull off Bloodcaster. He could like get like Permafrost and yeah, there's just nothing.
No, that doesn't do it. Never mind. So
Even Permafrost Marshall wouldn't have done it.
So if he had 11 power, a second Lightning Storm would have cleared the board. But Carnosaur can end this.
Yeah, this is just over in 10 different ways.
Mm-hmm. So the conservative line ended up working out, which is good. We're going to a game 3. And I'm sure players will be eager to hop right back into game.
Yeah, that was a close one. Much closer than the first game. Like, I mean, it didn't look close, right? Because Shed ended the game with like 6 big units in play. But like, if Chicken ever drew a Withering Witch, then like suddenly that game was turned around and very close again.
Yeah, and there was a lot of blanks from Chicken's side. So I believe the players are just going back into it. No, not quite yet. Looks like Shed's is looking at his sideboard again. So
Hopefully he brings in that 3rd Protect. Come on. That card is so good against Death Strike. Oh, he doesn't do it. I know that's a lot of Aegis giving things, but your deck still has 30 units. Like, just do it.
yeah, I don't know. We've seen some interesting plays from from each team. Shed does still have all his finest hours in, right?
I actually did not check.
Because we didn't see any bluffing lines from him in the previous game.
It looks like he took out the finest hours.
Okay, well, that makes bluffing a little bit weaker, but your opponent doesn't know that necessarily. So I'm a bit of an aggressive player. I'm very much make them have it, but Feather has liked to play such that they have removal up whenever they play into a finest hour block. So maybe the finest hours weren't going to do too much anyways.
Yeah, just like having finest hours, like it's nice against a deck full of X5s and your deck full of like 2 and 3 strength guys. But it's also very harrowing to have a bunch of finest hours against a deck full of removal. So I think they just wanted to have all like units, like more like units and spells that always interact rather than cards that can sometimes be dead if all their units die.
Yeah, that's fair. Like you're saying, finest hour not always necessarily that good, especially since the Felon deck has been playing such that they try to always have removal up when it could happen. But I think the threat of the bluff is still potentially powerful. But
oh yeah, you don't even need to have the card in your deck to get an advantage from the fact that the card exists.
Especially in your deck list. But
yeah, it's kind of like the old thing that Angry Chicken did en route to his first invitational victory, where he would board out harsh rules and just board into like basically aggro Cambrai.
And then opponents played around them. And he got a ton of advantage out of playing that way, because he could freely commit to the board, but his opponents could not for fear of a harsh rule.
Exactly.
Well,
Awakened Student was a nice draw there from Shed, so he just gets to play an unending line of Seraphs here.
We need a legend rule. They should not be allowed to have 17 Seraphs in play.
Legends do rule. Seraph is my favorite card in the game.
She's an okay second choice.
Icaria always #1 in your heart.
Icaria #1 in everybody's heart, I'm sure.
So have you played that like 4 Icaria, 4 Macto, 4 Rise deck? It seems like right up your alley.
No. Because I have never successfully drawn the correct influence with the 3-faction deck in my career. So that was a little aggressive for me.
Didn't want to tempt fate.
No.
I think Xena Initiation on the student to bring it out of Lightning Storm range is definitely what you want to do here.
Spicy. No love for doubling down and playing an Initiate of the Sands with the Seraph into the Lightning Storm.
I'm not a fan of that. All right, looks like the thing that I would have done is what happens.
That is indeed probably the correct play, unless you specifically want to save the Zenith Initiation, which doesn't make a ton of sense given you have a Carnosaur in hand. You know, protecting against the potential harsh rule follow-up makes the most sense.
Yeah, so Chicken does have another Witch Storm in hand, so could potentially just go for that, or could wisdom on hunt for more powers so that he can get to 7 and play them both in the same turn for the guaranteed board wipe.
I expect he'll either Wisdom or Death Strike the 6/3 while the shields are down, so to speak, and sort of look for it next turn. Okay, so he's Death Striking the 6/3. Yeah, keeps him safe, prevents him from taking too much damage. He's taking 3 next turn, maybe.
Yeah, that's
maybe
true.
5.
By taking a turn off of your opponent's clock, you basically draw a card, right?
And it's much safer, you know, because now your opponent had no way to use their protects or stand togethers or whatever, and now they gotta build their way back up.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Takes the trade. Oh, that's new. A Seraph. We haven't seen
Oh,
that.
baby, a triple. Another one.
Yes. I almost thought X Kirby was in the booth with me, with how much you're memeing, but no, this is in fact LightsOutAce.
I'm a purveyor of fine memes.
Yes, that is what he is. So, nope, we rolled the Tranquil Scholar dice. All right, this is exciting.
Quick draw. Ooh, quick draw killer.
Don't put it on the Valkyrie.
Yeah, I guess I can't actually see what it is because of the 5-second delay on the
No, he
hand cam.
successfully
Alright.
clicked on the Carnosaur. All right, so I imagine we'd see Black Sky Harbinger here. No real reason not to. Nothing can attack
Black Sky
through
Harbinger,
it, gain
hope
some
you draw
5.
power for Storm Witch and hope your opponent doesn't find stand together.
Even if they draw stand together, nothing can attack through it. So he needs to play the Carnosaur, and he needed to draw this power that he drew here to play the Carnosaur. So now
Ooh,
Storm.
the quick draw means Chicken does not even gain 3 health. Value.
He can do it if he sacrifices the Withering Witch, and you do sacrifice the Withering Witch because who cares about a 1/1? So Angry Chicken got there, and Shed is in trouble. I don't want to say Shed is dead until he is, but Shed's not looking good. It runs into the Aegis.
Nice slow.
So that was not a very good draw.
Somewhere Thundershot is crying in disdain.
Oh, and he can even play champion now because he drew the power. All
Wow,
right.
the greedy wisdom pays off.
All right.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say it now. Shed, dead.
Shed's dead, baby. Get in. We're about to play some Chalice versus Felm.
All right, everybody strap in. Feather is going to take the lead in the series, and Flame is going to their anchor, Unearthly, renowned Chalice player.
Oh, wait.
Maybe not quite. Titan plus Xenon Initiation is the one last stand, but Chicken top deck the Annihilate to punish it. That hurts. That hurts. And Suffocate for Rubbins.
Suffocate. Yeah. Oh, man.
Ouch. Alright. Streams crushed.
Make sure you gain extra health off of that Vulcan Enforcer before you kill it.
Yeah. Oh. I have my mouse.
An opponent with no hand, no board, facing down 3 giant flyers.
It was a close one. Yeah, that witch ended the game. Honestly, if Annihilate was not there, the Titan would have brought it back. That was very close to turning back in Shed's favor. If the Titan kills the
kills the
champion,
and then 2 Harbingers still aren't big enough for it to beat a 6/7 Titan.
So that was very close to being back in Shed's favor, even though we declared him dead. But unfortunately for them, Angry Chicken had drawn the Annihilate, and the game was done. Okay, so as we move back to match card. Shed is defeated, and Unearthly the Anchor will be playing against that, and I don't know what happened here. Beautiful. Okay. So, let me pull up the deck lists for this particular Found Control versus versus Chalice matchup, as we've seen this before, but we've never seen Unearthly play this deck. That is for sure. So is there anything interesting in this list that is unusual compared to other ones? Well, there's a bunch of Islands choices.
There's only 4 choice, 0 vanquish, which I think is pretty wrong. It won't matter much here against the Felm deck, but it hurts you a lot against decks like Comrade where you need to kill stuff like Mystic Ascendant and Ironthorn.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's already a massively favored matchup, so I guess like hedging for the mirror isn't a bad choice.
And no Islands favors, and just 2 protects in the side for anti-gift tech. So...
Ooh, no decays either. Yeah, it looks like Unearthly might be getting some presence here.
Uh-huh. So... I don't know. This does not look like a Chalice deck that's super well set up to fight against Felm. So Angry Chicken may have the edge.
Yeah, although Chicken does only have 1 Omen, 1 Gift, he's not like super overloaded on the Gift You ASAP plan.
Yeah, and he's
both
got
players with a pile of backlashes too. We might get a good old-fashioned counter war.
Ooh, that will excite.
If that doesn't cheer Ilya up, I don't know what will.
Well, I think it'll only cheer Ilya up if they win the counter war, as he does have a lot of stake in this match, given that his team is on the back foot. Just pulling up the streams now, and
Yeah, can you link me Unearthly stream
yes,
while you're at it?
I've done that. Yeah, so we're just getting the players ready to go to game. Again.
All right, so what time does the next match start?
Our next match is supposed to start at 4 o'clock, so we might be okay if Chicken wins.
Okay. You're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there is a chance, but I feel good. No, most of these players have been playing pretty fast, and I'm quite happy with how the match progresses.
Yeah, and it's only a best of 3, so how long can it really take?
Well, hopefully these players will not take too well. A lot of the problems with beforehand was long sideboarding times and what have you, so we've cut a lot of that out, and players are quite fast now for the most part. We should be into game now. Yes, we are. Okay. So we'll be heading back down to the match as Unearthly the anchor on his apparently his new main deck, Chalice Control, facing off against Angry Chicken. I've never seen Unearthly play Chalice, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this match progresses.
Yeah, is there really anyone on Flame who's a Chalice expert? Like, I haven't seen any of them play a lot of Chalice.
Did Ilya play Chalice for a few weeks back when it was like super popular, right after Moosh was doing his thing back in season 4?
Yeah, and he played it in the last Invitational, but
Okay.
I don't know how much he's played it outside of those tournaments.
So Ilya's played some Chalice, so they have some support. I know Unearthly has been practicing it a bit, but it is a deck with a lot of lines.
I don't know. You shouldn't mulligan for Rakano.
No. So, you know, he's done his fair amount of testing, but Chalice is an intricate deck, and there's a lot of different lines.